I was lucky in that I sort of found early on what turned me on that way. But don't settle for something if you can possibly. Don't worry about making the most money this week or next month. I mean, when I offered to work for Ben Graham, I said I'll work for nothing, and I meant it. You know, I mean, just the idea of being turned on. So look for the job that turns you on. Find a passion.
If you're in your 20s and you want to get rich, there's just one thing you need to do. And this is going to be the deciding factor between being broke versus living a life where you never have to worry about money. Now, based on my analytics, you're probably pretty young. And out of the thousands of meme videos you could have been watching on YouTube or TikTok, you're watching a video about financial success. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that you probably care about your future and want to get rich before you're old and gray. You want to live a life that you're proud of, you want to go on nice vacations, you want to be able to retire your parents, and maybe even buy some fancy things that most people can't afford. I get it, I've been there. And I'm still on that journey myself. In today's video, I want to inspire you to chase just one thing in your 20s if you want the best chance to become wealthy in the near future: building skills. I know how cliche this sounds, and it's probably much more tempting to dive into the next MLM or BS crypto coin so you can shortcut your way to success. But that's just not how it works. I have watched videos and read articles about hundreds of successful entrepreneurs, and one thing that almost everyone agrees on is the fact that you need to spend your younger years building up skills. So let's explore this topic in depth in today's video, and by the end of it, you'll know exactly how you can build the skills you need in the most efficient way and why skills are the most important thing to focus on if you want to get rich. I'm going to share some amazing tips and tricks that will save you a lot of time and frustration, so make sure to watch this one to the end. Like most entrepreneurs, when I was younger, I was always chasing money, trying to get that bag. Random ideas to make a quick buck would pop into my mind, and I would rush into getting started. I remember riding my bike around my neighborhood when I was in high school offering to mow people's lawns. I got so many doors slammed in my face, I quit after a couple hours. Then a few months later, I got a genius idea. Buy used bikes from a police auction and flip them for a profit. I got too excited and submitted bids on 40 bikes that night before going to bed. And when I woke up the next morning, I almost crapped my pants. I won like 25 bids out of the 40 I made, and I didn't have the money to actually buy these bikes. I was expecting to win only 1 or 2. Fortunately, I was a minor at the time, so I got off with a warning and didn't have to pay for the bikes. But this taught me a valuable lesson. Stop trying to make fast cash. Because when I had this mindset of chasing money, it made me very impatient, and as a result, extremely careless. Clearly, this is not the right mindset to have when you're trying to build the life of your dreams. Now I want to make a distinction. If you're in a situation where you have bills to pay and you actually need fast cash, then you have to do whatever it takes to make it work. Work 3 jobs if you have to. I wouldn't call that chasing money. That's just survival. And you need money to survive in today's world. But in my opinion, the ultimate wealth that anyone can have is freedom. And I truly believe that to achieve freedom, you need to get into entrepreneurship. It has to be something that you own, that a boss or employer can't take away from you. I don't care how high-powered or prestigious your job is, even if you're the CEO, you're not truly free. You can get fired at any moment without any warnings, and this could put you in a stressful situation. So, going back to my younger self, when I was in my early 20s, I'm sure many of you are probably in a similar situation. You want to make money. You're always chasing the next dollar just like I was, and nothing seems to work out. But what if you tweak your mindset just a little bit? I think it's going to be a total game changer. Train your mind so that instead of thinking of what's in it for me financially, you think of everything you do from a skills perspective. Ask yourself, what can I actually learn from what I'm doing? If the answer is nothing, don't waste your time on it. With that being said, I now realize that everything I did back then, all those little side hustles and quick ways to make extra cash that I tried, taught me skills. Skills that I didn't even realize I was building. For example, door knocking and offering to mow people's lawns helped me develop a thicker skin so I could get more comfortable with rejection. This is a skill that every entrepreneur should have. In fact, not just entrepreneurs. Even people looking for a job will have to be okay with hundreds of rejections before landing their dream job. From my police auction disaster, I learned how to estimate how much something is worth and learn the psychology behind how people decide what something is worth. I also learned to never do business with the police, but I don't think that really counts as a skill. The point is that you'll learn all sorts of skills from businesses that you start in your younger years, and these skills will become the building blocks for your future success. So instead of starting a business just to make money, start them based on the skills you'll learn and see if those skills are something you actually want to learn. For me, the skills I learned helped me with my content business, and for you, it's likely going to be something that you've never even thought of. Just keep in mind that whatever business you're trying to start right now is probably not going to be the thing you're doing forever. Maybe you'll make some money, but these are all stepping stones that will lead you to the ultimate business that you'll start later in your life. And that business should be what you're truly aiming for. By the way, if you want to try out the same business model that I've been working on for a few months, click the link in the description for all the details. These days, your social status is tied to how much value you can provide to other people. This can be in different ways, based on what services you can provide, things that you know, and the things that you can build. As we go through life, we develop new skills, new knowledge, and new practical applications of said knowledge. The reason some people peak in high school is because they have a false belief that learning stops after school and earning is all that matters. But in reality, anyone who's successful in their careers knows how untrue this is. In a way, the real learning begins after you graduate from school, and school should really have been a stepping stone to get you prepared for it. Successful people are lifelong learners. They are curious and genuinely enjoy learning new things and expanding their skill set. And when you maintain this mindset for a long period of time, everything you learn starts to compound on each other. This is how people go on to start multi-billion-dollar companies in an industry that is very different from what they studied in college. They didn't stop learning after they graduated. Now, some of you might be wondering how skills actually relate to the business that you want to build. You see, a business, when you filter out all the noise, is essentially just an exchange of value. Businesses offer products or services in exchange for money or other forms of payment. And these products and services are valuable because of the skills they require to provide. For example, I wouldn't be able to just start an app company without knowing how to code. Without coding skills, I wouldn't understand the work the software engineers I hire do, making it really hard for me to check their work. To be successful, I could either learn coding myself or partner with someone trustworthy. Most of you are starting your first business and need specific skills to succeed. My current skills let me run certain businesses, but there's still a lot I can't do. As I learn more, I can create more diverse businesses. Skills are not just for starting a business, but also for expanding existing ones. So, building skills helps not only in starting a business, but also in growing it. This brings me to perhaps the most important part of this video. How do you actually build skills? You might think that the answer is obvious, but trust me, most of you are probably doing it the wrong way. So far, I've tried to drill the importance of skills into your head, but none of that matters if you don't know how to acquire these skills in the first place. Believe me, there are really great ways to learn skills, and there are also really bad ways to learn skills. The really bad way is dangerous because it feels productive. A great example of this is when you mindlessly watch a lot of content, read a lot of books, and get help from a mentor, but don't actually apply anything you learn. This is probably what 95% of people do. I would recommend a balanced approach to building skills. Learn in the morning, then apply what you've learned in the afternoon. This cycle of learning and doing is key. If you watch a lot of podcasts about business, take notes of the main lessons you learn along the way so you can come back to them later. Taking notes while you're learning is actually really good for long-term retention. I would recommend using a physical pen and paper, but if that's too boomer for you, you can also use an iPad with a stylus to take notes. The act of physically writing stuff down makes it easier to remember later. Once you finish this, try to actually implement whatever you learned right away within your own business. This is basically how I learned to write effective copy. I would watch tutorials and read other people's work online in the morning, and then go ahead and put what I learned into action in the evening when I was drafting emails or working on scripts. The best part is that this strategy can be applied to any skill, from coding to copywriting. ensuring that learning is always coupled with practical application. So now let's talk about how you can start learning skills fast, because we all only have 24 hours in a day, so we need to be efficient. The worst thing you can do for your learning is getting caught up in analysis paralysis. This is when you're overanalyzing everything you have to do and end up not even getting started. The truth is that getting started is the hardest part. If you want to learn any new skill, you're going to struggle a lot at the very beginning, but if you stick to it, it will get easier over time. As your skills stack on top of each other, you'll have more context to help you understand different things. A huge hurdle for most people is the fear of failure, and this is rooted in something even deeper. Chances are, you haven't taken action on the skills you're learning because you're scared of failing. And this fear of failure actually comes from a fear of judgment from others. The truth is that no one really cares. There is a well-known theory in psychology called the spotlight effect, which suggests that we all go through life feeling like others are paying attention to us a lot more than they actually are. The truth is that everyone is too caught up in their own problems to really pay so much attention to what you're doing. So when you realize that, you'll see how silly it is to not follow your dreams just because you're scared of being judged by others. Once you get over that mental block, there is one more really important trait you'll need if you want to be successful: grit. Grit is simply how much of a fight you can put up to reach your goals. Don't give up. Don't look at failures as setbacks. Look at them as opportunities to learn something and evolve, and then just keep moving forward. The fundamental thing about business is that it's all based on skills, but to build skills, you'll need grit. So what I want you to take away from this video is simple. Instead of chasing money, instead of chasing the next hyped up business, chase the skills that will help you get there. I don't want to sound cheesy, but truly chase knowledge.
But you know what I like a lot more than materialistic things? Knowledge.
Then chase practical application of that knowledge. And if you get started on this path in your 20s, the amount of skills you can build and apply will be absolutely insane. You'll blow past 99% of people and have so much more of an impact on the world than you currently do. And with that impact comes financial success and living the life that you've always wanted to live. One of the ways in which I judge how advanced a society is based on how much it values real skills over superficial branding. Silicon Valley produces the best startups in the world because most of their companies, such as Google and Meta, value real-world experience and skills more than a fancy degree from an Ivy League college. 15 years ago, coding boot camps were seen as worthless. Then, Google and Facebook opened their doors to boot camp graduates without a college degree, and everything changed. These companies realized before anyone else that skills are the only thing that mattered on the job. If you're feeling inspired and you want to learn the skills to start a highly profitable online business, click the link in the description to learn more.